Oh, bugger.
What's the matter?
Well, I think I may have to join with Computio. Join with the audio, which means I have to turn off my cell, which means, well, I guess I'll hear it. Let's see.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I left that, so it should be okay.
I don't know how to get.
Okay. You're leading the meeting anyway, so if I can't talk, it's okay.
Right, it's echoing though.
I know, even though I've turned this off. Oh, I haven't officially.
What is that one for?
Okay.
Echo. So you can either turn yours down.
Well,
I don't think they have both on at the same time.
my question is whether it's necessary for me to be on my computer to run the meeting. I don't know. So where are you all?
We're up there.
Looking to see if there's any way I can make this bigger. And I don't know how to do it.
Make what bigger?
Picture of all of us so that it's not just me. So wait a sec. No. So have you got the
I
audio?
think if you, can you mute yourself?
I have muted myself and turned off this.
Camera control.
So do we have, I think you ought to sit in this seat because you're going to be running the meeting.
Oh, how's that better?
Yeah, it is, but yeah, it is.
I don't need that though.
No, but I do, because what I'm seeing. Oh, if I don't, actually. I just, because I turned the meeting on, I'm not sure. When people come in, is there another place to admit them? Or
I don't think
does
so,
it run on my computer to admit them?
I'm not sure.
Okay. So, let me,
No Rich yet, huh?
no, Rich yet.
Oh, we're changing?
Hmm?
I thought you were just pushing over.
I was, but I didn't think about it. Didn't think about that. Yeah.
I have to pull up the agenda. We ready to start?
I think
And I
so.
guess Rich will come in when we only have an hour. Oh, here's the microphone. Let me get to the agenda.
Just need a pen so it can take minutes.
Did you send the agenda this time or no?
I did originally. Yeah,
Oh, in Shittsbury.
but I didn't resend it. But I can let you see it. Give you a copy.
Oh, you have it printed? Oh, that would be so much easier. All right. I guess we'll start without Rich and he can join us, I guess. Ready? Calling to order the Council on Aging meeting on February 11th, 2006 at 6:04. Roll call of members.
Oh. Johnson here.
Makepeace here,
Milling, you're here.
and Rich is absent
Mhm.
and may join us.
That's in Mexico.
Yep, lucky her. We need to approve the minutes for January 14th of 2006. I scanned through them. I didn't see anything that needed to be changed.
I thought they were good.
Yeah,
So somebody wanna make a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I second that. All in favor?
Johnson, I.
Milling, your eye.
Makepeace aye.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the financial reports. We got our grants. The second, I just learned today, about a couple hours ago, we got the second half of the grant.
I think maybe the second, third. I think there's one still to come in the spring.
Oh, I thought they all, no, they're only halves. They're halves, yep. Usually it comes in March, so I was pretty surprised that it came. I was really surprised it came that early. But our financials started. I'm not on. Is there a password for the town hall?
Is there a password for the town hall?
Yeah, for the internet.
Yeah, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's right over there. It's up to 6, is it? 8, goes up to 8, 1 to 8.
All right, thank you.
We should probably say this is our first hybrid meeting.
No, it doesn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
Maybe I'm on the wrong one. Hold on. Oh, town hall guest. All right. So our starting balances for February were $3,908.82 with the grant. Our revolving account was 1,388, and the town budget is 200. The total expenses for the month, we had only the foot clinic in January, which was 240, in which we received 208 through the donation fees. So I thought that was really good. And then we got the second portion of the grant, which was $4,568. It ended up, our grant balance now is $10,032.52. 32 cents. It's supposed to be 82 cents. I made a mistake on that.
It's supposed to be 32.
On the, yeah, it's supposed to be 82.
Oh, okay, that's what I've got on mine.
Okay,
You sent me.
really? It says 32 on mine. Oh, this was the first one.
This is the end of January, said 82.
Right, I have it 32 on the February one, on the new one that I sent, including the grant.
And is that correct?
No, I'll have to fix that.
So it stays at 82.
Yeah. I'm gonna fix that right now. And then I'll send you a new one. Our revolving account is 1,596, and the town budget is still 200. So that's really nice that we have that. I don't think we've had that in quite a long time. Um, and I made the mistake of not totaling it too. So the total is um $11,828.82.
I'm sorry, can you tell me that again?
$11,828.82.
Oh, great.
I don't know. Um, that was financial report, the current programs. If you want to give us a luncheon and a foot clinic report, it's been,
Okay, we had a good turnout, with some new people, and it was, I think it was either 15 or 16 who showed up. So it was quite a good turnout.
good.
Nothing, oh, and what happened that was unusual was that Jessica Carlson Belanger came and talked about and invited us all to the Valentine's tea on February 13th
Right.
at 12:30 in the school. You know about that?
Told me about that.
Was that an RSVP thing?
Jessica liked it if she got a sense of numbers, and I got people, now people sign in.
Mhm.
Because, when I turn in the annual report, if they require how many different individuals we served. And that's easy to do for foot clinics, but the only way to do it for lunch is to make people sign in every time.
Oh, wow.
So, and I asked people this time to, if you thought you wanted to go to the tea, to put your email down, and I got, I think maybe 8 people interested.
Oh, wow.
Like that.
Wow, that's nice.
So I sent those figures into Jessica, and
Oh,
then I
good.
sent it, well, never mind. Well, I sent it around to the foot clinic, patient clinic, clients, and I only got one person who'd already said yes at lunch.
Are you going?
Yeah.
I was gonna try to go, but I can't.
Oh, you can't?
No, I ended up having to move somebody and having to work. I was planning on it until yesterday.
So is your son gonna be there?
Oh, yes, he'll be there. Yep. Um, that'll be fun though.
Yeah.
Is there any way to take pictures? Do you know?
Gee, I don't know. I'll take my camera.
Because that'll be nice if we could,
Yeah, we had some pictures.
yeah. And maybe even put it in the newsletter if we can get, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know the school has to have permission to put, um,
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you deal with children.
yeah,
Mm,
Permission to take their pictures.
yeah,
So I think we should leave picture taking to Jessica.
probably. I'll ask her though.
Possibly.
And then maybe we can get a couple that just to have on hand in case we want to put it in our newsletter.
Yeah,
That'll be nice.
Rich would be the person to take pictures.
All right, and the neighborhood dementia support program.
Okay, they've actually sent in their grant for next year, and the name has been changed to Neighborhood Aging and Dementia Support. NADS. And
NADS.
I'm gonna give you a preliminary here, which some of you may already know, which is a year or so ago, there was a meeting of all the COA boards and village neighbors. And it was very effective in terms of exchanging ideas and the start of some things that continue. And they want to, NDS wants to have another meeting of the COA boards and village neighbors, and they want to do it at lunch. And I checked with Jessica when she might be available for a lunch. So I'm gonna turn that in. And they would like to do it at the new library. But I don't know if it'd be, since Marianne's she told me she couldn't make reservations until the committee that's designing the rules for reservations had designed the rules, and they hadn't done that, so. But you all should be aware that that's probably coming. And one of the main reasons to do this is because the idea is that every town would play a role in running memory cafes from time to time.
Mhm.
And I think that our COA is probably more positive about memory cafes than some of the other
Oh,
towns.
wow.
New Salem board is resistant.
Why?
I have no idea. Sometimes people get really negative ideas about people with dementia
Mm,
and about dementia itself. That I don't think, I think we would be perfectly fine having one, and I know Rich would be okay having it because his wife worked with.
mhm.
And Jeanette is really active in the committee. So the question would just be who would host it, and I would probably ask Jeanette to host it, but we should
Right.
decide who we think should be the host.
Where would we have it?
We would have it either here or at town hall or at the library. What do you think about that? Do you think we'd be better off? I mean, I sort of like using the senior lounge for something like that.
Right.
Because it's, we've been meeting at Wendell in their senior center.
Right.
It's which serves for a lot of other things too. And that's a really nice space. It's kind of nicer than the Theory Lounge because it's sunny and it has a carpet and it's smaller and so cozier. But they don't have much of a kitchen. I mean, we've got a real kitchen. And a real bathroom. Their toilet is currently not working
Oh, no.
because it froze.
Hmm.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. That's not gonna last forever, but I mean, I think this is a nice space.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
So we can talk about that.
And that's what the meeting is for?
I
Is
think
there anything else?
Probably some other business too, but I suspect memory cafes is gonna be mostly the main topic.
And when will we know? You said Monday?
We have a meeting Monday?
Okay.
And I'm returning in my information about when you could meet, then. Any weekday except Thursday. If you have at least 2 weeks' notice.
Right.
I'm asking for 2 weeks' notice.
That's, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you work.
I do,
Appreciate.
but it's flexible. I can move people, certain people I can move, not all people. So,
Mary Jo works too,
It's true.
but would you have trouble getting away for a lunch?
Depending on the day.
Would you have preferred weekday? Or, I mean, Jessica told me she couldn't do it on a Thursday. Do you have any days?
Oh, days that I can't. No, I think with enough notice.
You could manage it. Okay, good.
that'll be nice.
Okay.
So if we can't do it at the library, the meeting, where else would they have it?
Here,
Then,
the lunch?
yeah,
Yeah, we could do it here just as easily, if not more so, because there's the kitchen and
Right.
there'd be money for us to hire whatever her name is who cooks for the AC. And cooks for Leverage. She does Leverage
Right.
COA lunch. And she's doing Wendell Memory Cafe. And if we do a memory cafe, when we do a memory cafe, we get a budget, we get money for lunch.
oh, good.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so that's all the programs. I feel like there's something missing.
Well, Rich was gonna talk about
Oh, Tech Talk. Did you go?
I did. Yep. I thought it was useful. There were 4 of us there,
Mhm.
Rich and me and 2 guys. So it was different clientele from last time. And she had a lot of, she was having a little tough difficulty with this system. But, she did use it to some extent, and so she showed us stuff on her computer, and then she had us do things on our computers, which I think is useful.
Right. So the next one coming up is on the 20. I have to look.
I think it's
27th?
Wednesday because she has a commitment on Friday, the February Friday.
Oh, I thought it was Friday.
No, she told us it would be Wednesday.
I thought it was February 27th. And then March, it was on Wednesday. Let me look.
We better check with Rich, his memory's better.
Well, it will be about calendars this time.
Yeah,
Learning how to use calendars, making appointments. Um,
yeah, I'm not sure how that can take a couple hours, but I bet it can.
yeah, it's the 27th. It's Friday. The 27th. No. Yes, Friday. Yeah. February 27th is a Friday. And then Wednesday, um, March 25th.
Oh,
Yep. And I'm not sure what March is going to be for. So, and Rich was going to make flyers up, and I told him to make. I don't know how he's going to make everything calendar. Sounds snazzy and fun, but he said he was on it. So,
we've had two and people don't eat very much. They
Mm.
like having something to eat, but they don't eat much.
yeah. All right.
So Rich and I will take care of it.
Okay.
But thank you for taking care of last month.
So the next item is the possibility of setting up recurring meetings with police and fire chiefs. When I met with Devin about the lockbox grant that I applied for, we talked about having um, a meeting where we get together and kind of support each other in everybody's roles. They know like a lot of our elder community, what it needs. And, I think it's smart to be more in collaboration with them. Um, so Devin had said something about maybe having even if it's just every 2 or 3 months, doesn't have to be every month. I think that would get a little daunting
Mhm.
because not much changes. If we do get the grant for the lock boxes, then it's going to be more of um, more meetings to get that rolled out. We have a year to use the grant money if we do get it, but we would have to really figure out how we're going to do it, and how we're going to get people to sign up for it, market it a little bit. They know who would benefit for it the most. We're going to target those people first. Um, but having that meeting to do that would probably be, I don't want to say separate from that, but its own little thing, compared to what the general is. I mean, it can be done at the same time, but I think that if we get the grant, it would have to be more meetings right away, and then it can like trickle out. Um,
So this is with both police and fire chief?
yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know if anybody has anything to add about that.
No, I think it's a great idea.
And along those lines, this evening I was talking with Andy. I can't remember his last name. Andy, who is a volunteer fire department guy. And he suggested that it would be nice to have a fire station tour
Yeah.
so like sponsored by COA. He said that 80% of their calls are medical
Hmm.
and that it might be good if the people that they were serving saw a friendly face and
Mhm.
someone that they recognized. And so Yeah, he sort of extended an invitation, so it might be something to talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think definitely, I mean, it's smart to work together. I'm surprised that it hasn't taken place in the past.
Yeah.
But you have different police and fire chiefs too, you
Yeah,
know? And I learned a lot being at the emergency management meeting too. And that might be something that we look at the agenda when it comes up and see if we want to be there just for, our knowledge of what's going on.
That sounds like a good idea.
So yeah, that we haven't worked anything out yet of when, where, and how and everything, but that would be really nice to have.
Yeah, I think it would. And you should know that NDS is planning to do special trainings for I know they're talking about doing one for the fire department, and I imagine they'll talk about doing one for the police too. I mean, they get a certain amount of training in dealing with people who might have dementia,
Hmm.
but I think the idea is to give them a little more support and background. So, this is all related
Right.
because it's, we're part of NDS,
Mm.
soon to be NADS. So that we can be go Nabs.
very good.
Oh my God.
I think if I had mentioned that in the meeting, if I thought of that in the meeting, people might have changed their minds about the name.
I think that's great.
Hmm. All right. So we're gonna follow up with like I said, when we should know about the lockbox grants.
Yeah.
They said late February and March.
Ooh,
Um, even if we don't get the grant, I'm still gonna advocate for it in the future grants. Because I think it's really important.
how much would they cost?
So they're roughly about $42 with tax. And then the for one box, and then the screws were, I think there was 500 for, let's say $30.
So we're gonna have a big chunk of money. If we didn't get the grant, maybe we could start buying some. What do you think?
I think it's a good idea, especially for the most vulnerable,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
And they know who is the most vulnerable. People with the medical issues like the frequent fallers, people that live alone that frequently get um, call, and so they would know who to target first. So if we don't get the grant, maybe we can talk about it and then start small.
mhm.
Okay, request for advocacy. I don't know that we have time for that. It's 6:30.
We have a half hour.
6 to 7.
We're running till 7 today.
Right. But isn't that for the make a policy for?
Well, I guess, yeah. I thought that the three different cases we had might help us think about making the policy. Cause we have three people who contacted us, and two of them were actually involved in the problem. They were the person that experienced or
Mhm.
identified the problem. The third person was a second hand. And so I guess it seems to me that we're much better off dealing with the person who's involved rather than a secondhand person
Absolutely.
who comes.
That makes sense.
And second, the people calling about the warming centers and wanting them to last a significant amount of time rather than 4 hours. And the person who's concerned about not getting his road plowed. They both contacted the proper authorities.
Hmm.
and they weren't happy with the result, but they did contact people. So
Right.
it seems to me that we would be more interested in people who've already talked to the person they should have, or the office they should have talked to.
Yeah, there definitely should be a chain
Yeah,
before we even, you know,
yeah,
Yeah. Because it's that, they're not problems that we can solve by ourselves. They're not in
Right.
our remit. The warming.
so if we have somebody come to us and say, they have an issue, we can turn around and say, have you gone to the select board, the town administrator, or if it's a highway department issue, still you want to go to the select board, you know, you want to go to everybody you can
Mhm.
before we step in and help to advocate, I think,
Yeah,
which is what Ron did, or
Yes.
attempted to do.
yeah.
yeah,
And what Jill did.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because her email went right to Haley first, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So, Jill and Leslie were our earlier, I guess we shouldn't be naming names on something that's gonna be recorded, is recorded. Anyway. The one person that contacted us about the warming centers had come to us COA several years ago, and they wanted information about tax relief for seniors. And that wasn't something that we knew about, but at that time, we had a person in charge of, what am I talking?
The assessor's office.
the assessor,
We had a head person for the assessment office, assessor's office, and we contacted him and he gave a presentation, came to us and gave a presentation to this couple. So that was a matter of contacting the real source.
Right, right.
getting the real source to provide information, and we thought that was appropriate kind of advocacy.
Yeah. It's not one size fits all.
No, it isn't. most-
It's never gonna be, because everybody's problems are gonna be different.
But when it's a problem that involves neighbors, and they haven't,
They have to definitely come to us first. Like you, like having the person that's having the issue
yes.
would have to come to us.
Yes. But I'm also not sure that, that issues between neighbors are really generally our concern.
Oh, I thought you meant advocating for a neighbor. Okay,
Yeah, but no.
I thought you were talking about the instance where the person was, okay. I was confused.
Having a problem with a neighbor is different from having a problem with an office of town government that's
Yes.
not performing properly.
If they're having a problem with a neighbor, they need to go to the police. And I would think, right?
You really probably need mediation.
I guess it would depend on what the circumstance is.
But primarily, it was a question. I'm just trying to figure out if we have any more principles we could apply for the policy.
I don't know.
Well, I guess we have to wait and see what happens.
With the current things that we're dealing with, or,
Or future things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, do you have any, we're both plowing the roads of, the Lake District, yeah. Lake Wyola and the warming center, did they both come up at emergency management?
mm-hmm,
yep.
So how's about you tell me about them, or we tell the meeting about it, because you two both know. What did they say about warming center?
So the warming center, there was a few things that I learned. So the warming center hours were such as they were that day because um I can't remember exactly the time they closed, but Lenny wanted people off the road before then because that was when we were going to get the height of the storm.
Okay,
The one thing is that a warming center has to be manned
yeah, staff,
by a paid person.
okay.
Um,
Does that mean a paid person would be someone who is employed by the town, or could it be somebody else who's?
they mentioned who it was. I don't know who it
Yeah,
was.
somebody from the fire department.
Yeah, I don't know who it was though. There was
Yeah.
a girl's name. I don't know who they were referring to. They knew, but I had no idea. So somebody has to be here. If nobody's utilizing it, it's like throwing money out the window.
Sure.
I did ask if we lost power, would it be extended? He said absolutely it would have been extended for as long as it needed to. He also said that, of course, we don't have an unhoused population here. It's not like
Right.
Athol, Greenfield, we don't have people have heat. So we didn't lose power. And he said, anytime we open the warming centers, nobody's ever shown up
Really?
unless we didn't have power.
Oh, okay.
So when there's power, nobody shows up. I don't know. I meant to ask about cooling centers, but I was thinking more about warming centers. If the cooling center is the same way, do people show up for that? Because that's a little different because you don't have to have if you don't have power, you don't have heat. But if you have power, it doesn't mean you have air conditioning.
If you have air conditioning, not everybody
Right,
does.
right. So I wanted to go back and ask him about the cooling center, if that was any different.
Yeah.
Do people utilize it, and whatever. Um, they also said that you had asked about cots. There are cots at the fire station. Haley made mention that brings us into a whole different territory. Um, we would have to have showers. We would have to have Cory checks for volunteers. If someone fell out here, there's liabilities, all kinds of other things that can happen with that. So that's why when we had the ice storm, were you here in '08?
Yeah,
So
I had just moved here.
this was more of a charging center. You could get water, but wasn't really classified as a warming center.
Okay.
Um, she said that it falls into overnight falls into a whole different shelter kind of liability issue.
Yeah,
If there was a time, there are different, Devin was saying that there's different steps. We have the school with the kitchen
yeah.
where that can be utilized if there's long periods without power.
Must with generators too then.
Right. So there's other options. But the warming center that day, everybody still had power. It didn't,
Yeah,
it wasn't really needed.
yeah.
He also said, that in the event that we do lose power, a warming center would be automatically put in place.
Okay.
So especially at that temperature. They still wouldn't want people on the roads though. That's the only problem. But
Yeah.
you would be able to come.
Yeah.
And there was one more thing I was just gonna say. Oh, Haley had mentioned that in Amherst, they made phone calls to all their senior residents asking them, do you have oxygen? Do you have your medicine has to stay cool in the fridge, a life-saving apparatus of some sort. That way, if there was a long period of time, those people could be checked on
Mhm.
and brought here if they needed to be. And the Board of Health woman that was there, Noreen Pease, was that her name?
Yeah,
She said that Sarah Fisk would have a lot of that information because she works hand in hand with a lot of people. So I guess maybe devising a list. I don't know how that works because you're asking medical questions. And I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I guess we would have to ask,
I think we would just enlist our public health.
probably. Probably.
Well, and if we had a way of getting the word out so people could voluntarily give their information,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, I think I was on a call where we were talking about, well, there was a disabled woman who said in '08 she got hypothermia because they lost power. She
Mhm.
had no way of calling out of her house or leaving her house.
Right.
And so her house was cold and no one knew except for, you know what I mean? No one knew that she was stuck there.
Well,
So, I,
this was here in Shutesbury?
no, I think it was in
Oh,
Salem.
Because when were you here in '08?
No.
So in '08, they sent firemen to everybody's house, letting them know you cannot leave town. If you do, you have to leave one way. They checked on everybody, said it was gonna be a long period of time. If you're not prepared, we suggest you pack up and you leave. You know, if you don't have wood stoves, if you don't have food, because it wasn't, we were supposed to get a small ice storm. And it ended up this huge ice storm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
People at the lake didn't have power for 5 to 7 days.
we were 9 days in a hotel.
Days.
I stayed 9 days in a hotel. Yeah.
My niece lived with me then, we packed up 5 cats and went into 2 rooms in a motel
Mm,
in Greenfield
Yeah, I was in Deerfield.
for 2 nights, and then we couldn't stand it any longer. We came home.
Oh, wow. With no heat.
Yeah. But it wasn't long. It was we almost got power back. Maybe we waited till,
We were the very last house to get power. Yep,
that was nasty, and it was not a pleasant introduction.
it was. And that doesn't happen very often. It's, that's not a rare occurrence. So in that case, that's a whole different like form of warming center kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to know all this about a warming center, and it'd be probably good to have that information widely
Oh,
available.
that was the other thing I had mentioned, because I forgot to ask, at the meeting. Because I didn't go back and look at Lenny's message prior to the meeting, and I should have, but I didn't. I went and looked after. And I asked my sister, because she's in emergency management, why doesn't it say in the event we lose power, a warming center will automatically be opened? And she said that they're working on the messaging.
Okay.
And that they're gonna go back to the way, and look at how Walter would word things, where people are familiar with it and, it's more similar.
Mm.
So,
Good idea.
yes, so the wording is gonna be changing too.
Good.
Oh, and I think there was one more thing that stood out to me for the woman that wrote that letter. They were just really clear that if you are in a situation where you don't have heat and you have an
Oh, yes, yep,
you could call 911 and they will make sure that you get to a place where you're warm
Right.
and safe. And if someone were to have come here and, at the end of 4 hours, didn't have any place to go, they would have made arrangements
right.
for that person. It's not like, doors closed, somebody has to.
Yeah, they're
in
not
there.
gonna kick anybody out.
Yeah, but need to know that.
That's exactly right. I think that's a very important message that needs to be clear to people that they can call, and people might not know that they can
Mhm.
call.
Maybe next fall in our newsletter, we can maybe have either Devin or Lenny put in a little blurb about warming centers.
Mhm.
In the event we lose our power, in the winter, these are the steps you can take.
I mean, this is something that's going to be helpful to bring up when we have our meetings with police.
Right. And then it was weird because all of a sudden it got dropped and it like went on to the next thing. They didn't really talk about it otherwise. Only the questions that I asked, and then they went on to talking about the new code red system.
Yeah, they started talking about communication.
Right. And then, but they didn't like finish up the conversation. They didn't talk amongst themselves about the warming center, only what I had asked.
Okay.
So,
So we probably need to draw up a list of questions that, because I think especially the cooling center idea, I mean, we're gonna get hotter and hotter weather.
Right.
And
yeah, I never thought about, it wasn't on my mind until after.
yeah, sure, but if that,
But I'm curious to see if anybody's ever used the cooling center,
yeah,
because that's a little bit different. You mean,
it is, if you're really uncomfortable.
people have electric and heat because that's where we live,
Yeah,
but we don't have to have air conditioning.
Mhm.
So. And last year we had a very humid summer. Oh, it was awful.
Yeah.
So, and then we need a report. So we did the warming center. And then we need the report for, oh, are you gonna go back and tell Jill what we've learned?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as someone follows up with that. Snow plowing.
and I probably will send it to you. Actually, send it to you both to see what I missed in the description.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure I'm getting everything I
Okay.
should include.
Do you want to give a,
Yeah, so, I have talked with Haley a couple of times about Ron's situation. And a neighbor of mine has also asked some neighbors for additional information about, the fact that we're talking about an actual road, that it's plowable, that, all of that. And there is so there's Ron's concern, and then there's a bigger issue about getting plowing and sanding consistently to the ends of the roads around the lake, which has been an issue for a while. So at the EMT meeting, we really were intentionally focused a little bit more on the larger issues. And so Tracy McNaughton presented a fair amount of helpful information about how homeowners do not own the roads in front of their house, and that the LWA is involved in maintaining the roads, that the town is responsible for plowing and sanding. The roads are narrow, it's not an easy job. And I don't think we got too much further than that in terms of the conversation. Haley drafted a policy, which she handed out but didn't get discussed. I'm assuming that it may be discussed at a future meeting because her plan is to discuss this in a number of different meetings. When I spoke, I just said we have to be aware that we have an aging population around the lake. May not be easy for them to get there. If there's a problem with their road, it's not like they can necessarily get out there and take care of it or advocate for themselves so easily. I talked about the need for sanding, which is really hard, and has not been consistent because the town's sanding truck can't get to the narrower ends of roads. And basically what I suggested is that it would be nice if before next winter we had in place the ability to get the roads all consistently plowed and sanded. And that would kind of take care of the kinds of issues that Ron brought up. Ron was at the meeting, but he had an understanding, everybody had an understanding that his particular issue is going to be addressed in a different forum, because there are private particulars, involved in that, and maybe not for a public meeting. I asked Haley about that because we haven't really moved the ball forward in terms of like a specific solution for him. And it's been a little while. And she said, she was going to be on it, scheduling a meeting to go out and take a look at his house, the road, its condition and, just investigate further because, now that she has more information,
Mm,
maybe a decision can be made that's different from what
right.
was made before, since before they had the impression that it was his driveway.
I have two questions.
Yes,
Is there a roads committee now in the LWA? Because she talked about a roads committee.
there is a roads committee. Before I brought this issue to the Council on Aging, I did take it to the roads committee of LWA, thinking that that would be the appropriate place.
Right.
But there is nobody on the roads committee that is here in winter.
Okay.
Oh, my word.
Yeah,
Because because it sounded like their roads committee dropped off at one point or wasn't
Yeah.
as active. I was
the
trying to
roads committee is
follow
great.
the timeline when
The roads
Tracy was
committee
talking.
is pretty active during the
Oh,
summer,
okay. All right.
but they don't really participate with people that are here in the winter.
Right. And my other question is, has anybody ever gone to Dennis and got a testimonial saying that he is able to plow and turn around and sand Ron's driveway?
I think that's maybe on Haley's list
Okay,
of things to do.
maybe Ron should do that.
Go to,
Go and get his own testimonial from Dennis. Since he was the last one to plow it, and now they're saying how it's unsafe to plow.
wait a minute, are we talking about, we're talking about David Boron?
No, Dennis Clark
Oh,
was the
Dennis
one that,
Clark.
Dennis Clark was the one that used
All
to
right, so
plow, right?
he already went to Dennis.
Oh, okay.
I think that part of the issue may be that he went to Dennis, honestly. I'm not sure, but, I don't know. I'm not gonna
Okay.
fully speak about what is going on behind the
Okay,
scenes
okay,
between Dennis.
I was just thinking
Boran
that
and
that-
David
okay,
Grenier. I know that they all are aware of the situation and have been spoken to. I just, and given that we are still in this place,
right.
right?
So somebody plowed Ron out with the last storm,
Yes, the last big storm.
right?
Yes, a neighbor,
Okay,
a kind neighbor
okay, and
allowed him out, but said that he didn't want to continue to have to do it. And Ron is he's inclined at this point to try to hire someone. The problem is he hasn't been able to hire anyone. It's not easy to get someone to plow in the middle of winter on, in an area where they're not familiar,
Mhm.
right?
I just did, because my plow guy disappeared. I got
No.
somebody,
who
but
was your plow guy?
Petrus of Water, Earth and Flowers,
Oh, I never heard of
he
him.
lives in North Lebanon.
Hmm.
Can never remember his last name. He just disappeared. He didn't answer either phone calls or emails. And I
Wow.
got a little panicky.
Don't blame you.
So I asked around and I got 3 good recommendations and I tried the first one who lived near me
Mhm,
and he said he would do it. But I don't live at the lake,
right,
Yeah.
so I can imagine that it would be trickier getting somebody at the lake.
Yeah. So yeah, as of now, he doesn't have anyone to
hopefully
plow.
we don't have any more snow before this.
Maybe we won't have any bad snow. The problem actually though is going to be that we will have ice.
Right,
Yeah,
And he doesn't have anybody to sand.
Mhm.
And like, to me, that was the original issue that he tried to bring to the DPW, was that he wasn't getting sand.
Mm,
And that's a significant amount of road that needs sanding that they just don't sand and haven't
right,
sanded. And to me, that's the first problem. And then the plowing is on top of that problem. And
so,
that first problem is going to become more of an issue in spring
yeah.
when it melts and freezes.
so the neighbor plowed. No, the town highway boss said that Dennis Clark has been sanding. He didn't get sanded.
No, because the sand truck, and I don't understand the logistics of sanding and the size of trucks that you need to have to be practical. But the sand truck is quite large and quite heavy,
Mm,
and it would have to, I think, back down that driveway. And that might be an issue, you know what I mean? It's much wider than the plow. So, there are other places around the lake, I think, that are not necessarily consistently getting sanded.
Oh.
Or only getting sanded if you specifically request. I mean, I know I talked to my neighbor and she said that she hadn't been sanded this winter by the town. So, like I said, I think there needs to be a roads committee that is here in the winter.
right.
Either LWA has to have people that are here in the winter, or the town needs a roads committee that's here in the winter. That are responsible for
Mm,
fielding these kinds of issues. You know, if Ron could have gone to a roads committee,
right.
then this should have been easy, you know?
And you would think that the roads committee would be advocating for their residents.
Yeah.
I understand that there has been, somebody has had a smaller sanding truck, that sanded.
Oh, I haven't heard about that.
I experienced, Dennis sands for me, and it's a big truck,
Hmm.
and it might have problems getting down Bronx Road.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
But I have been told that there was a smaller sanding truck,
Mm.
maybe.
That the town owns or that?
Well, possibly, but maybe it doesn't.
So there is one truck. That's what they were saying at the emergency meeting. There's one truck in which does like Carver Road, Briggs Road, Stoll Road,
Okay,
those kind of roads. But is unable to do the lake roads because they're tied up with all these other smaller private, semi-private roads. I can't, I don't know why, if there's areas where the bigger one can't go, why they can't circle back and do those, but he did say that the town's small one is all tied up. So
Hmm.
I really think
I
that,
wonder if well, and see, this is where a roads committee would be helpful,
Right,
right?
right.
They could say, well, could they just do the ends of certain roads? It wouldn't take
Right,
that long.
right.
They wouldn't have to do the entire thing.
and it would need to be done right away. When you're done with these roads, can you just circle back and do these
Exactly, because it's the
roads?
kind of thing that happens at the end, right?
Right,
After
right.
the plowing has happened and the sanding happens. So,
sometimes if it's a big snow, you really need to be plowed before you're sanded.
hmm,
Has Ron reached out to village neighbors to see if they could help hand sand?
he thought about it.
At least that's something until,
It
You
might
know,
help for the spring
right.
because right now there seems to be no plan. I don't know. I may stop in and see Haley one more time to just talk about maybe my thought was I would come back, talk to you, and then maybe follow up with her one more time. Just to see if something, because sanding is going to be a big thing,
Mm,
right? Plowing, maybe not so much, but
Right.
sanding is going to be more important. And if they do have a sand truck that could potentially do it, I don't know why they
right.
couldn't pick up one small additional road.
Even if it wasn't right away.
Exactly.
I think plowing is important.
Oh, yes. But the fact that sanding has never, or has not been done in a long while. Yeah, and I agree plowing is important.
Hmm,
Part of the conversation kind of went, like David Boron is an older gentleman. His truck is not that great.
Rickety, yeah, yeah.
And it could genuinely be that it's too much to ask for him to do it.
Hmm,
And if that's the case, then the real question is, according to town policy, And the point that they seem to be making is if their equipment includes a rickety old truck that can't handle it, does that let them off the hook for being able, for
Right.
plowing? And they seem to be interpreting the policy to be that, as far as I can tell. Now, to me, that doesn't really make sense, and I don't think it's necessarily the only way to interpret the policy,
If they're contracting a person, you would think that that person would have to have a truck that's not so rickety.
right?
Yeah.
Or if they took the contract, that they would fulfill that contract by getting somebody else to provide the truck that needed to,
Right.
that was needed for that specific spot. Because either you agreed to do this job or you didn't.
Mm.
What is Haley's new policy about the plowing the lake roads? That's different from the one we saw.
She wrote a draft. I didn't see it. She passed it out to people that were on the committee, but it didn't get discussed and I did not see it.
Okay,
So I might have a look at it if I go see her.
sounds like a good idea to see it.
It does seem to be a good way to communicate, to just go and talk to people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One-on-one.
Yeah, I think it's better than sending emails to multiple people. That's just not as good.
The only problem is to get, you can't really go see the select board because, unless you go, well, they don't even if you go to a meeting and have a public comment, they don't comment back. They don't,
Yeah. Well, the other thing that occurred to me that I have not followed through with, because it seemed like Haley was kind of the central person at this point, but Eric Stalker is the person on the select board who's like, I think each select person has a specific area of
oh, I didn't know that.
involvement, or like they're the liaison to
Mhm.
certain committees. And Eric Stalker is person who looks at roads and EMT and that kind of stuff. So I had thought at one point about contacting him,
Mhm.
but I'm not as so familiar with the way that things work to know if I should contact him now
Right.
or if I should just stick with talking to Haley. I just don't even know.
That kind of sucks that they didn't share the policy with you though, even if it was a draft.
But they didn't discuss it.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like they've handed it out.
I
They
must have
said
missed
that,
that
they
part.
said, let's talk about, let's have the people that are ready to speak. And then we can give you a chance to look at the policy. But then they never circle back to the policy.
I missed that one.
So maybe the policy will get on the agenda for next time.
Do they have monthly meetings?
That's a good question. I don't know how frequently they meet.
So it could be March or it could be May.
I could find out.
All right. You can look.
Okay, let me write some things down now.
Yeah, I'm not taking notes on this, because it's too complicated.
Yeah,
Just gonna say there was discussion. If you all think there are things that ought to be recorded for posterity, I'll listen to the recording and see what it has. And use it.
yeah.
Looks like looking at their minutes, it looks like they,
Did they schedule
About
my list
monthly.
before the end?
no, these are old minutes. But on April 28th of 2025, the next meeting was May 19th. So they meet
Monthly?
monthly. So beginning of March would be their next meeting. It's after 7 o'clock.
So, give me some instructions about the last of the, I know what to do about the warming center.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you know what to do. You've got a plan of what to do about the road situation. So our third case, which I expected somebody to the meeting and want
Oh, there's the shrubs.
the shrubs in the driveway. Should I just write back and say we talked about it and we think that, first of all, we need to hear from the person herself.
Absolutely.
And that person needs to be,
Now, when I drove out tonight, I made a look. There's a huge snowbank, but I could clearly see if there was a car coming out of there.
yeah,
I don't know what it looks like on the other side, but for me, I looked, and if there was a car coming out of that driveway, I would have seen it. And how many times are cars gonna go in and out like that when the library is only a limited amount of time?
yeah. So if there is a complaint here, it doesn't come to us. Whether or not that's the
Right.
complaint is accurate.
Right.
There's a perception.
Hmm.
It wouldn't come to us right away because it doesn't sound as though the person has gone to the
Right.
appropriate.
Yeah, it really needs to go to, and I actually had asked around, and it's being worked on in other areas.
Is it?
Yeah, but it definitely has to go to Haley, the select board, and even the highway department, because she's worried about the traffic coming in from the highway department, which that's been like that for years. So, ever since probably they lived there.
Yeah.
So I don't see how that should be a problem. Um, but at least the select board to the town administrator, the person that lives there would have to go and do that.
About the traffic
Yeah.
concern. And talk to Mary Ann about the plantings. Seems to me if the plantings just don't go all the way down to the road, there's no issue. There needs to be
Right.
space between the last planting
Right,
and the road.
right. How do we know where they're gonna go anyway?
We don't.
So,
Well, I guess the plant, Mary Ann's talking about putting plantings down that side of the property,
okay,
but I would hope that Mary Ann wouldn't put them all the way down to the road itself.
right.
So the person needs to actually check with Mary Ann, do you think? This could be an issue of neighbors,
It sounds like an issue of just somebody's not happy.
yeah. And I don't know what we say about that. Because who is there to go to? If you're not happy with the neighbor that you would have to deal with.
Usually you have to go to the select board. It's more of a select board thing or town administrator thing. I mean, if it's truly a safety issue, then I guess even to Devon, um, I don't know. I know that they like put up mirrors sometimes. You see them on like, like driving down the road, it's like a
Yes.
mirror because there's a
Yeah.
blind drive. Maybe it's something as simple as that,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So I wonder who puts those up, because they're on, I've wondered about that sometimes, because I would benefit from one. But they're put on the section of beside the roadway that's really in the roadway,
Mhm.
the 15 feet.
right.
Yeah. So who would you go to get one put up? Would you go to DPW and ask for one?
I don't know. I don't know where you'd start.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like a good Haley
Hmm.
question. That sounds like a good Haley question. Like if you went to Haley, she could probably figure out who to talk to. Brennan also could probably help figure out who to talk to.
Yeah.
Are you talking about me doing it? Or are you talking about me?
No, I'm talking about the person.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. It's a little bit less intimidating than writing to the select board and trying to get on their
Right.
agenda.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
Just saying.
Yep,
Yeah, it's really interesting to see.
at least they can, at least the administrator could point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know, of who to talk to. So. All right, up next is unanticipated business. Do we have any of that?
You know, I thought we did, but I don't remember what it was. Well, I was just we were gonna have an announcement, and I don't know whether I added announcements to the agenda, and that was just about the Valentine thing. Valentine party. Do we have any on the?
I don't
I
think so.
think so.
Not that I can think of. So we need to set and approve a next meeting, which will be March 11th.
Right. March and February have the same dates.
At 5:30.
Sounds good. Be back on Zoom.
That's up to everybody else.
Well, we're 3 of the 5. We never did get Rich,
I don't know.
but he said he was coming.
Yeah, he said, well, I can do that.
Oh, was there a link?
Well, there's a link on the meeting, on
on
the
the
it's
calendar?
calendar, yeah. He never emailed me either.
Gee.
Hmm.
That's strange, also strange.
And the last thing is set to adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
I move that we adjourn.
I second it. At 7:11, 12.
We voting?
Johnson, I.
Baker sigh.
Million eye. So we're going back on Zoom unless somebody, so we can turn this off, right?
Right.